Have a good day, Tasman. Catch up a bit later on, bro. Oi, oi. So I got a video called The Nuclear Scare Scam. And I watch it. I commented on it. Put me comments there. My thoughts on it. So it's a guy that worked in the industry. Like, if you watch the whole thing, it goes for like an hour and a half. You would pretty much get the idea of what's going on. I don't know. Like his experience as one man in that industry does not take away all the people that died from those things. Nor does it say that his industry is safe because he survived it when others didn't. The man contradicts himself numerous times throughout the hour and a half, saying that there's no such thing as nuclear waste, there's only new materials to be used, that no one ever dumped nuclear waste in the ocean, that all the barrels that went in the ocean in the 80s and 90s, they all had bodies in them, bodies and guns. Sure. I watched growing up with my own eyes ships dumping hundreds and hundreds, thousands of these barrels as if they got bodies in them. They had what they had in them, nuclear fucking waste. Uh, One angry old man does not make one angry old man's opinion is not how science and fucking industry is run. Ain't a tourist, they felt. So this thing is called, it's on Suspicious Observers, it's called the Nuclear Scare Scam. So throughout the 80s and 90s, Russia and Italy, fucking Who the fuck else did I used to watch dumping barrels in the ocean? America would go film them and go, look what they're doing. That was all just lies, was it? They just did that for shits and giggles. They spent tens of millions of dollars just driving boats around to fool me. To fool me. And they did it in a way that only 1% of the time they would get caught. What? So, yeah, this nuclear industry is fucking, we know what it is. The military created it, the military put in place guidelines, and the military is the laxest motherfuckers there are. Right? Vaccines, depleted uranium. You think they give two fucks? Yet, do you see how they treat their soldiers around this shit? You see what they did, why they tested, why they created, why they implemented these programs up till today? Everything they did was because of motherfuckers were dying and getting sick. They're like, oh, we can't stand next to it. The world's fucking level of plutonium radiation that would kill a 70-kilo human is like 20 milligrams or some shit, or micrograms, 20 micrograms or something. What? They just make that up? No. It's measured inside fucking animals and motherfuckers that died. It's how they know what the safe level is and what a bad level is. It's very funny to me, motherfuckers just like they think that, I'm emotional and I never got fucking sick when I did it, so you're all just fucked up fucking pussies. What about the cunts that died and got sick, bro? Like, it's not like at Fukushima, when Fukushima happened, they went, oh, you know what? Don't take months building a robot to go in there. Just walk in there and have a look around. Radiation doesn't do nothing to people. What the? How much plutonium flew around after the bomb blew up, Monty? How much? I'm just doing a comment on the video that I watched, bro. Got nothing to do with fucking you. But I will say this: there is no fucking plutonium once it's fused. It's fused. Yeah, that's the process. The process turns it into other elements, that causes a runaway, fucking explode, a cascading fucking. Can't find the word, and causes the explosion. There is not much plutonium. There are other elements. Because there are other elements. This is what I just said, that radioactive elements breed, right? So when you use a radioactive element, it decays to another element, or if you're bombarding it with another element, it can transform to another element. It's just how it works. That's why they have. That's why Japan wanted to do the breeder reactor, to breed it to the highest possible, like real, basically like highly radioactive, but the half-life is small. But the only thing was all the filters that they have to use to do it, they have to find somewhere to put all the filters, and it's not really viable, so they just didn't do it. Because after they lit off 1,500 bombs in the atmosphere, they started to realize, and that's just America. That's just America. 20 micrograms. 20 micrograms. What's a teaspoon? About teaspoon of plutonium, being one of the heavy elements on the planet. It's not gonna be like a fucking couple of grams of sugar like on you, when you get a teaspoon of sugar. It's gonna be like fucking 10 grams. Probably more. That's a lot of micrograms. And the information that I have comes from the military and from the government, the people who made the industry and the industry. This is the thing. Why would the industry be created from military, right? Basically, military start this, industry catch on to it. Why would they all handicap themselves and pretend that it's super dangerous and make themselves spend millions and millions of dollars during a time when millions of dollars was like billions of dollars? There ain't no way in the world they're going to do that to themselves. They did what they did to protect themselves and the workers so they could create an industry that worked. If everyone died all the time, no one would go to the job. And that guy, that old guy, the cowboy, plutonium does nothing to you. Yet at one point into an hour into his speech, he talks about how he had plutonium burns in his lungs that they were measuring. He's not. I understand what he's saying, and he's like if you go to a factory and you grab the lowest down dude and you ask him how the factory works. That's the sense I got from this dude. He's smart enough to do what his job was, and that's about it. Yeah. And because he is smart enough to do that job, he thinks that what they told him at that time, it's all lies. Because I was doing stupid shit while you employed me and told me not to do stupid. That's the other thing. No one can tell me what to do. Your employer can, because you're employed. I know what the dude's messed up in the head from swimming around in radiation pools. Contradicts himself, fucking lies a couple times, and thinks that bravado and being 6'4" and his cowboy boots saves him from nuclear radiation. It doesn't. Yeah, I know. The measures came from the industry and the military. We can watch the progression of it. It's in documentaries all over the world. This is an interesting thing people like to know about. And like I said, if it costs $100 to refill a reactor, right? Why would you make it 10 million? What's the point in lying and making it 10 million when it was 100? They're not lying to him. They're just telling him what they know. Yo, when we do this, on average, this is what happens to cunts. So what if he swam in a radiation pool and didn't die? Is he the other millions of people in his country? Is he the other people and animals they tested this stuff on and watched things die and went, oh shit, we can't go beyond that? No. You cannot have one man decide that what is right for the whole entire world. That motherfucker might be somehow fucking immune to shit or something. You know how people are immune to viruses? Maybe this motherfucker somehow fucking doesn't get affected so much by radiation. I have no idea. And that interview was like in the 60s. How much longer did he live from there? And remember too, he's the office man. There was actually blue collar dudes out there doing the fucking real shit. He just pretended he fucking did it. How many times you seen an office guy get out on the floor and do work? 3-4 times a fucking year? That's about it. And they don't do it for 8 hours a day. They do it for 5 minutes. Yeah, he was working there for a long time. Yeah. It's why I don't understand how he doesn't even understand his own industry's fucking standards and safety practices. Right? Yeah. And the military's way they treated nuclear devices, nuclear material and stuff like that before the 60s was already worse than what he was saying. They're the ones who said this is because they had the bombs and shit. So they're the ones who went, all right, soldiers may have to deal with radiation. We need to find out what a safe level of radiation is for a soldier to be able to fight in and still be able to live. This is why we know all this stuff. I don't get how he's no, they don't know. They fucking know. They made it. They made the detectors. They poisoned the animals. They tied up the pigs and the cows and the horses and set off the bombs. Yeah? They turn on reactors. They push animals inside fucking radiation rooms to see what would happen. And then they went, oh, okay, overall, this is our idea of limiting exposure. You can get out there, but you need to limit it. You'll be all right if you're not living in it. And that idea of putting a power plant every 10 blocks or every block or whatever, yeah. But why we won't do it is because the world is so scared of itself that they think that people in America are going to dig up these fucking reactors every 10 blocks, steal the material out of them, and make bombs and dirty bombs and shit. This is why they won't allow it to just sit in public. They treat nuclear reactors like a fucking supermax prison. You ain't now allowed to near it, bro. It's got to be defended from aircraft. It's got to be defended for just the driveway of the joint has to withstand one of the biggest trucks that are made in the United States, because someone might fill it full of concrete and drive it flat out. So they have to have these pylons that drive up out the ground will stop the truck instantly. Like, this is how paranoid motherfuckers are in nuclear power. Right? And it's because they've been told what it can do. But all that terrorist stuff, Jesus fucking Christ, how likely is that the Americans are going to dig up their own power supply, turn off their own phones and Sonys and shit so they can make a dirty bomb? I doubt it. I fucking doubt it. But yeah, they're not gonna do these simple reactors for every 10 blocks or every 5 blocks. We're not trustworthy. We're not trustworthy enough, Mom. Oh, I've seen motherfuckers holding plutonium in their hand, but do you hear what he said it is? Again, right? So it's been pressed into a ceramic pellet. How much does ceramics leach? It's basically encased when he's holding it. Right? You could put the core of Fat Man in your hand if you wanted, but you couldn't scrape bits of it off or make it rough or have bits flake off and live on you or be on your clothes. This is why they have contamination rooms. They blow the crap. It's holding the particle around you that kills you. So when people breathe it in or ingest it somehow and it stays in their body, it can hurt them longer. If you only walk up to it and walk away, you only get a short exposure like an X-ray or whatever, depending on your source. Nah, the motherfucker drank the water. He drank the reactor water. Glass of reactor water a day. That's because the two components touched each other. The two components touched each other and made a release of radiation, a burst that killed him. It's not the sphere itself. It's not. You're not going to walk up and it will, boom, kill you if you look at it. You can handle it to put it into the device. You're not going to live in the same room it lives in. But yeah, the outer sphere and the inner sphere, the two different materials that are pushed in to get, they touched, and that's why that motherfucker died. But yeah, when it's ceramic like that, there is no dust flaking off for anyone to breathe in. It's like you don't even understand what radiation is. Yeah? You can be dosed with radiation and it leaves you. You can stand around radiation and it leaves you. But if you have a radioactive element inside you, then it's a little bit bit harder to remove yourself from that. It's inside you, or if it's on your clothes and you don't know, like that's why we have what we have. Yeah, but not with fucking the doses from nuclear power plants, like alpha particles. Really, how many alpha particles will be counting off right now? If I got a jar and a piece of foil. A jar piece of foil, I forget what the fuck. You can basically watch it wobble as the particles hit it. It'd be like fucking four a minute or something. It's a bit different than 100, a bit different than 1,000, a bit different than 1,000,000. And this is what happens when you have highly enriched materials, and depending on how much of that material you have. Yeah, it does. I'm not saying it's unsafe. I am saying that the industry put these safeguards in place because they know what they're fucking talking about. And they didn't do it to themselves to handicap themselves, because no business on earth would make themselves pay billions of dollars more than they have to. Oh, yeah, background depends on environment. There's places in the world where uranium sits and other radioactive elements that drive up background radiation. But people historically move away from areas like that. And it depends on your source of radiation. Like radium, like fluorides. People would live near bodies of water that contain naturally high fluorides. They move. Over time, they moved away from it because they realized the water was no good. Nah, before the bomb dropped, they were already into this is dangerous and this is what we are figuring out. And yeah, obviously over time they refined that, but yeah, they were never of the mind that this was not a dangerous material. And people handle dangerous materials all the time. Industry is working all over the world all the time, but they just do it with procedures that are safe. The cowboy wants everyone to be a fucking cowboy. Dudes like that are the blokes that you worked with that died at work or cut their own fucking fingers off. I don't need to wear that glove. My hands are strong as a fucking glove. I'm a 6'4" cowboy. No, your hand's not as strong as a fucking Kevlar glove. So then what happened was the industry had to tell people, look, that's not your choice anymore to wear PPE. You have to fucking wear it because some of you dumb cunts won't wear it and then you cost us money. Nah, they were already, like I said, they were already fear mongering before the bomb was dropped, bro. Everyone already knew how bad nuclear was. They were already telling everyone how bad it was. They just refined how bad it was over time. The world had a standard of background radiation, all right? Yes, there are places in the world where the radiation is higher, but there's an average for the globe. That average, from the day we started doing nuclear tests to now, has had to be increased. This was the accepted level. This had to be increased over time because we've increased the radiation on the planet. And it's not below those limits, and cunts could get sued for it. So we changed that shit. Yeah? Refined like vaccinations. Well, vaccinations work. NRMA, that's not a vaccination. It's a tool used to cleave, cut, insert DNA. Look up the guy who created it. And vaccinations work. Otherwise, motherfuckers will still have polio and shit. Yeah. There's maybe a bit of germ warfare in that, though, wasn't there? We can sort of talk about it, but it's still sort of pie in the sky, isn't it? Like, yeah, okay, there were some army dudes that were injected numerous times with these different things, and then all of a sudden... And you know I love a conspiracy theory, fuck. But I don't think we could ever prove the United States military created the Spanish flu. I love how they call it the Spanish flu because the Spanish were the only ones in the world who were willing to report on it. That's why it's called the Spanish flu, people. Everyone else in the world went, no, we're not going to talk about it anymore. Hide it. And the Spanish went, nah, fuck you. And this is why they call it the Spanish flu. Okay? So now when people hear Spanish flu, immediately they just think fucking Spanish. They did that on purpose. I was deployed into the military, monk. Into the military, then the military was sent around the world. By the Spanish military? This is what I mean. They named it the Spanish flu to fuck the Spanish people over for refusing to adhere to mainstream media and not talk about the flu. Like, when was this month? 19 fucking what? Motherfuckers were controlling the media then. They had the world on lockdown. Don't talk about the flu. You're scaring motherfuckers. Spain went, we'll talk about what we want to talk about. And now it's called the Spanish flu. And mainstream will be like, oh, it's because the Spanish were the only ones reporting on it. No, it's because you want that ambiguity there. You want that little bit of, oh, did the Spanish make that flu and kill all them people? That's why motherfuckers want it. Because no one's prepared to go back and actually have a look what fucking happened. There was like 4 or 5 vaccines they gave a group of dudes at a military base. They started getting sick. They kept doing it. They kept giving these vaccines to motherfuckers anyway. Different vaccines for soldiers, for countries they're going to go fight wars in. Protect them. The first guy to ever present with it was in the USA on a military base. First person in the whole entire world. But it's the Spanish flu. It's a European thing. Came back to America and killed mother. No, it didn't. It started there from the look of it. But we'll never fucking know, bro. That's the thing. We're only going off what people in the past are telling us or what they remember. We don't have the paperwork. And you know as well as I do, the government is not going to keep anything that is going to make them have to give reparations to anybody. Oh, I can find the documentary too, with the footage of the soldiers and the photos of the first American who was a soldier to have the so-called Spanish flu. And it was after his 4th or 5th shot of vaccine. Sure. So if they have the paperwork, then why is no one getting reparations? If they can prove there was an injustice, why can't they have justice? Because there's no evidence either way. That's why I'm not going to sit here and say that this is exactly what happened. Like I said, it's possibly what happened. Paper's not dead though. Paper doesn't die. The paper is still there. Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. No, no, you got to pay reparations to family. To family. That old adage of 50 years after, that's gone. That's gone, bro. That's why our government don't have a 50-year policy anymore. Our policy after like 2000 fucking 12 or 15 or something is there is no more uh freedom of information fucking acting. Basically, they determined that there is stuff in the world that no one's ever allowed to know ever, ever for all time. What the fuck? And America do it too. What the hell is out there that is so bad that we've done to each other that we're not allowed to know for all time, ever? What the fuck is this? And that we put rules and laws to protect ourselves for when we do stuff like you're not allowed to look at it because you might get angry at me. When they didn't have Freedom of Information Acts. Didn't have Freedom of Information Acts because that shit was basically publicly available unless it was secret. The military is way different to what the fuck it was in 1910, bro. You know that. You're a military man. Like, the motherfuckers would tell you fucking everything back then. It's like they were part of the community, bro. Because imagine that, they were. Now they're separate. They're a separate entity that can't be fucking judged or fucked with. Oh, yeah. Just I'm trying to understand green screen. What can we do? What can we do to countries and people in countries that we're never ever allowed to tell even our own people about it? Oh, look, we did this, right? And this does not help my continuity, bro. Let alone whoever's running the country. Does he get to fucking know, or is he not allowed to know either? Because this makes it really hard, really really hard. You know? Reparations have always existed. Reparations have always existed, Monty. Even 5,000 years ago, reparations existed, Monty. Reparations disappeared as society became closer together and started making laws and rules. Then reparations became the person who fucked you who goes to jail instead of paying you out what you lost. In the old days, bro, you killed someone. Sometimes you didn't even have to go and fight the dude whose family you killed. Who they would just go, give me 50 grand, we'll call it even. In some cases, they give the two guys a sword and they fight it out, and whoever wins was right. The law that exists now didn't exist 200 years ago, not even 150 fucking years ago. Different rules, different laws. You know, in Germany, if a woman had a fucking beef with a man, they go to court, right? Know what the court does? The court gives the man a sword and the woman a sword. They dig a hole and they put the man in the hole, and then they give the woman a mace, a mace and a sword. And the man's in a hole with one arm tied behind his back, and then they fight, and whoever wins is right. Reparations was the first justice of the world. Someone killed your kid or whatever else, you have to take something of value to keep your world going, to keep your tribe going. Use the war to abduct women and children. What? They don't need to, bro. They come to our country freely. I don't know about all that fucking dark stuff with adrenochrome and shit, dude. I don't really know. Sometimes I think it's real, other times I just think it's pie in the sky stuff. I don't know. 10K women and children. They're in other countries. Exactly. That's why the civil population. Vaccine. Civil population didn't receive reparations. Yeah. And it wasn't until Nixon did the American government stop poisoning the public. Or just after Nixon. Nixon or just after. Before that, they used to run, they used to poison the American people on purpose. To try different shit. Oh, Russia stealing Ukrainians. Okay. Yeah, I don't think Ukrainians are stealing anyone or we're stealing Ukrainians or anything like that. Yeah. Oh, what? I'm missing it. Do a live, Jules. Throw Joe Rogan on. They need people to keep their industry going. Dude, they should have plenty of fucking people. What's Russia, like 180 million cunts or something? Bigger than America, but I think the population's less. This Ukraine thing, I already had an idea how it would end. I already had an idea that it would start, but anyway, I still maintain that it's going to end exactly how it sits right now. No one's getting Ukraine back. Russia are going to keep it. Oh, that's right. I did see this thing where this lady, uh, well, not one, but they only had the one lady talking, but many women in Ukraine are looking through Russian TV footage. The Russians had children that they got from Ukraine, and they put them on the TV and said that they saved all those children, and they'll look after them for the time being. So yeah, okay, there are definitely fucking kids getting taken over there, but like I don't know if that was like a on purpose sort of thing, or whether or whether it's exactly what they said it was. I have no idea. Damn right. Nah, you put them to work when they're 13, month. Fuck it. Not fucking much. They got hundreds of millions of dudes. Do they still got anyone in those fucking... Do they still do gulags and shit or what? They still got people hidden up in Siberia? Why don't they just go steal all them Inuit people that live out the back of Siberia? Nah. They wanna. No. Yeah, look, I know they used to go up there in the past, but they used to pretty much leave them alone. Pretty much. I'm just gonna 2 secs. I'm just gonna fucking look on this fucking thing. See if Israel are doing anything. Iran, Israel. Hezbollah airstrike. 14 Israeli soldiers. Hezbollah airstrike injures 14 Israeli soldiers as IDF weighs response to Iran. Iran expected to enforce consequences. What? The RAF and the USAF up in the sky to help defend Israel from attack. Breaking news. Israel carries out Operation Inside Israel. Here we go. The motherfucker's smiling and laughing while he's talking, bro. And then he stopped talking and smiles. Man, people love war so much, don't they? Reports of explosions in Iran. Holy shit. Monty, reports of explosions in Iran, Iraq, and Syria. What the fuck are they doing going to Iraq? Israel begins retaliatory strikes. IDF eliminates Hezbollah general. Eliminates Hezbollah brigadier general. Israel attacks Iran. Live coverage. Oh, Israel aborted 2 retaliatory strikes. I wonder which ones they decided not to do. Israeli missile hits Iran. US officials confirm. Here we go. Only HD pictures. Special report. Fucking A missile. The US does confirm this incident did occur. Get to it, woman. Huh? Rubio. Let's pause this. Now, already, you got to love this, right? You got to love this. Israel, Israel launch a missile. Israel launched a missile. A missile hits Iran. That's 1 for 1. That's 100%. Now look what happened. Now look what happened previously. Would they fire? Would they fire at Israel? Like fucking 500 fucking munitions. How many got through? 7 or 9. Israel fire one, and it got through. One hit. 1 for 1. 100%. How are they going to compete with that? No, blah blah blah. More information about that. Blah, 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 this one. It's got like 8 minutes on the other one. Might have 8 minutes more information. Isfahan, Iran. Hey, they didn't blow up a nuclear facility this time. There is a nuclear facility there, but they think they didn't hit it. Fucking bullshit. If there's one there, they hit it. To tell the world eye for an eye. Yeah, you can't have to get much better fucking information because that's pretty piss poor. So they fired a missile at Isfahan. Explosions heard in Iran. Okay, Isfahan Airport. This might be someone's phone footage. Come on. What do you think? Okay, that's the stock footage or something else. Yeah, they Not real good footage yet that I can see. Getting a couple bombs, a couple booms, see a bright light. That's about it. It must be shit itself. Damn, lads. Hey. Well, at least we got something to watch today, eh? Well, I'm gonna fuck off, and I'll be back in like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that. Someone wants to fucking do a live, I'll jump up. I'll have to check my restream hours. I think I've got some restream hours. I definitely don't have StreamYard hours. Alright, I'll keep an eye out, Jules. I'll keep an eye out. I was gonna go chop a couple things, hang a couple things. But I'll just leave the restream with infinite. Oh, it doesn't have 20 hours. Well, there you fucking go, huh? Thanks again to 12 Veils from USA, New York, for telling us all about Restream. That's where Restream fucking, we heard of Restream, Jules. Someone told me about it. Then I told everyone else in the community about it. Everyone else told everyone else in the community, and fucking away you go. All right, lads. We will catch up soon. Have a good one.